everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
I wasn't sure if Tommy had actually connected yet. And then, quiet one.
Pretty
Welcome.
popsicles.
That's a P word. Plosives. Oh no. Welcome to a situation here.
Interruption time. Go. As soon as you start talking, we're going to say something else.
Pterodactyl. I'm waiting. Okay. Let's do some player introductions.
Player 1, Tommy.
I'm player 2. I'm Sean.
Player 3, I'm Richard.
Zach is player 4.
All right. We are about to do something super fun, and I'm excited about it. For it is December, and we decided long ago that we were going to do a whole bunch of cheesy Hallmark movies this month. Still love the idea. Love cheesy Hallmark movies. Nothing better. So, well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's better. Like Congo is better, but let us discuss.
How dare you?
Let's do. Sorry, I clicked on the wrong button. There we go. Okay. Let's start with our bonus point words. Of course, bonus points awarded for each and every instance of this word that is used. Player 1, your bonus point word is visit.
Visit.
Visit. Player 2, that's me, gravy. Gravy. Player 3, Richard, your word is cheer. And player 4, Zach, your word is shallow. Very good words. Okay. Our situation prompts. Here we go. Our character's name this week is Paris Freed. Paris has an X still in the picture. Paris also has a recipe for green bean casserole that is quite unique. And our situation. Paris moved back to town to take over the family business, and things are not going well. All right. So, what have we learned through this? Green bean casserole being, of course, the greatest of Thanksgiving Day sides. I will fight you if you disagree with me.
I'll show up at your house and fight you.
You don't even know where he lives.
Paris has an X still in the picture, so that could mean a lot of things. Like she may just have a picture of her ex traveling with her. I mean, she just recently moved back home to take over the family business.
This is a high school ex. They were together all 4 years of high school and then separated after getting into a huge fight. Probably because she moved to the city and he didn't like the city. You've changed, man.
So a prom night fight, she tells him finally that she got accepted into NYU and she is moving across the country, and he has no interest in going with her. Lots of screaming.
And by
And
across
she-
the country, you mean from like Connecticut or something?
Absolutely, yes. It's a Connecticut farm that they grew up on.
Yeah. More than
And-
an hour away, so it's across the country.
What do you got, Rich?
Think he's still in the picture because he's a delivery man for their business, the family business.
And he really liked green bean casserole.
Nice. Okay. A delivery man for the family business, really close with her mom and dad.
He visits all the time.
Just shows up, has a key to their house, is like the handyman for him as well.
Can the family business be a hardware store?
Absolutely.
So he delivers hardware to people. You run out of nails, he delivers you a box of nails.
Things are not going well because their expenditures are skyrocketing.
Here's your $4 box of nails. Half an hour getting here.
So she went to school to get a business degree. She never really intended to come back and run the store, but now she has like all of this B school knowledge that everybody in town is telling her like, no, that won't work here in town. You know when I'm and whatever Connecticut accent sounds like.
We are but a small farm town. Simple people with no use for your city jargon.
Mark to market accounting? What are you talking about? She only uses Enron based stuff. Okay. What is the ex-boyfriend's name? Hank. Joey Lawrence. Matthew Chiselchin. I don't think that's the description. Okay, so the town absolutely loves and relies upon Joey Lawrence to provide goods. The father figure, which parent is getting sick? One of them has to get sick, right?
She had to come take over because the dad had a heart attack and can no longer keep up with the day-to-days.
Yeah, he
It's
had a
heart
problem with
attack.
gravy. He was always just drinking gravy, clogged his arteries.
Perfect. Okay. What? So the Paris is leaving a job behind and has a sassy best friend back in the city, whom she still texts all the time. What's the sassy best friend's name? Shelly. Perfect. So Shelly from the city says silly sayings sequentially. That's not.
By the seashore?
Shelly says sayings by the seashore. This is worse than the P words.
And Shelley is the exact opposite of her hometown best friend, Patrice.
Oh, yes. Okay, so Paris and Patrice, they were hanging out in school because they had very similar names, and Richard, God, that's good. Okay, so we've got Shelley as the left shoulder angel and Patrice as the right shoulder angel, acting as the conscience for Paris throughout this entire ordeal.
But Shelley decided to come visit from the city with their dreamy co-worker friend who they flirted. Paris and him flirted, but nothing came of it. But now he's in town.
Ooh, okay, perfect. So that's going to happen. Let's cut backward to how are Joey Lawrence and Paris who looks suspiciously like Candace Cameron Bure. How are they getting along? Are they fighting?
Passive aggressive fighting.
Okay.
Him constantly reminding her that city life doesn't mesh here. And her going, we need to update our town or something. Get with the times.
Yeah, and she's always wearing high heels and pencil skirts, and that just doesn't flow with the town style. Cobblestones and whatnot.
It's a legitimate safety hazard. Okay.
She remembered her first step out of the car when getting to the parents' house was in her, $600 shoes in mud.
Oh, absolutely. And there's a duck who constantly shows up wherever she's at. Quacks at her. Quack. If you're curious, saying a duck pretty quickly will activate an Alexa robot.
Weirdly, so will Alexa.
Yeah, it was oh crap! I can't just say robot. An Amazon virtual assistant. So. Oh
Oh,
no!
an Echo. Jesus.
Oh yeah.
Talk to kids too much.
Okay. What kind of truck does Joey Lawrence drive?
Same truck from high school.
Same truck.
But
God,
is it
that's
a
amazing.
Chevy or a Ford? Will determine everything.
It's a
Maybe
Chevy.
it's a Chevy, but it's got the hood from a Ford. And there's an
Blue
interesting
Chevy
story that goes along with that.
Oh, tell me that story, Zach. She was there when the hood.
They were driving down the road and driving past the little lake that's just outside of town, and he was showing off, swerving around, and a duck flew across, and he hit the duck and totaled the hood, and that same duck is coming after for revenge.
What's the duck made out of?
It's a really big, durable duck.
Is the duck our Jesus stand-in for this story?
Well, we do have one of those in every story, so yeah, it's got to be.
Definitely the duck.
It's the duck. Oh, that was the moment. All right. When they hit the duck, Joey Lawrence stopped the car and ran out to pick up the duck, and they took it to a vet, and that was the moment that they realized that they truly loved each other, because it was he was so selfless and she liked that or something. But that was the moment. This duck represents the love that they once shared, and now it's coming to quack at her all the time. Does the duck ever carry a knife?
No,
Okay.
not after
Yeah,
the
it rep-
injuries.
It represents love, Sean. Jeez.
However, when it quacks, it sounds like it's saying no mercy. Oddly enough.
Well, love does show no mercy.
All right. So we have our silly duck character. We have the boyfriend who works at the shop, delivers stuff. Joey Lawrence and Paris Freed are getting. I don't think they're meshing yet until, like, she's constantly saying, like, let's at least get the ability to accept credit cards. It's 2019. Again, tough to do these 2020. Um, she just wants to be able to accept credit cards, and he's like, "This is a cash only operation." And then turns out he's really good with accounting. Like the entire, it's like, no, your debt ratio is all off. You've got a EBITDA or something. That's all the stockholders in a small town hardware store.
That's cash only. Ain't nobody got no credit cards here.
um, so they are arguing, fighting, doing the passive aggressive bickering thing. No real stakes yet. And I think, Richard, now is when we have Shelley and Matthew Perry visit.
His name has to be Dylan, though.
Oh God, yeah. Ugh.
He looks like Matthew Perry.
Yes, Dylan, who suspiciously looks like 1998 Matthew Perry. They come into town. He's wearing a suit. She's wearing a suit as well. No high heels, but really expensive shoes.
Definitely calling everything cute and quaint.
Absolutely. It is, yeah, insufferable.
And she always says, "I love to visit places with so much cheer."
Perfect. Yep. Just absolutely the most shallow people there are. What do they do? Tommy, what is their thing coming into town?
They just want to bring her back to the city because they think it's where she belongs.
Okay.
After talking on the phone the previous time, Shelley decided she needed a break and to return. That's what I'm
Yes.
thinking. Hence the surprise visit.
So Paris had like a breakdown and ran to her car, called her friend Shelley. And that was when Shelley said, "You either need to come home or I'm coming there." Now they're there. What happens when Shelley and Patrice meet? Do they just stare at each other like,
I think
one
they
of them's got a
go,
knife?
they meet later that night at the only bar in town.
Oh man, it's a one bar town.
Well, there's, a club and a couple saloons, but one bar.
Been
And one
there
of those
forever.
bicycles that you can just drink on. You just hop on the 10-person bicycles. There's one of those too. But with the cobblestones, it's really hard to drink.
I don't know. Everybody gets spilled on all the time. It smells terrible down Main Street.
Yeah, they can't figure out why they're not making more money.
That's the quirky nerd guy from high school who's always trying new ventures.
Yeah, but he's got a trust fund, so it's all right.
He also randomly appears throughout the show, in the background, sometimes waving a sign
Oh, perfect.
for his new pop-up hot dog stand or something.
Aren't all hot dog stands pop up?
Now they roll. His pops up.
All right, so he's always up to something. We always see him popping up in the background of the hardware store, buying stuff for his new scheme.
He also knows all the secrets of the town. Yep.
Ooh, that's useful. Um,
All right, so I have a question. Does Shelley know about Joey?
no, I think that. Well, I don't know. Tommy, what do you
Let's-
think?
Probably just a little bit.
But knows about him, but not any of the details. So
Yeah.
here's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
So Shelley's loving the quaint little town, loves the holiday cheer, and so in her hotel or Airbnb or wherever she's staying, she decides that she wants to do the whole small town Christmas thing, and she calls up the local hardware store and orders up a Christmas tree and lights and all the trimmings to decorate her house, and has it delivered to her, and she thinks that's the coolest thing. Very New York style, having everything delivered. So she has Christmas tree delivered, and guess who delivers it?
Ooh.
The only person who delivers.
Yeah. And so she sees this guy, and he's pretty handsome looking. He's buff. He's got a pretty sexy plaid shirt that isn't buttoned all the way up. If you know what I mean?
And a tasteful white t-shirt underneath.
That's surprisingly clean for how dirty his job is.
Dirt all over his face. Perfectly clean shirt.
Yeah. And I think Shelley's going to get a little handsy with him. She's going to try to persuade him to stick around and, I don't know, spread some gravy. Yeah, I was
You.
trying to use a bonus word.
I think that he immediately notices just how shallow she is acting, and well,
He doesn't want to visit again.
correct. I appreciate your holiday cheer, man. Yep, but in a Connecticut accent.
Whatever that is.
Whatever it might be. Okay, so then he backs away from the situation. Does Shelley ever get his name, or does she? I'm
He goes by
thinking-
Joe. He tells
goes-
her Joe. So she
Oh.
doesn't make the connection.
So Shelley is then the next morning relaying the story about the delivery guy, just completely ignoring her advances, and that is the moment that Paris realizes that, oh yeah, he's a good guy. I might have feelings for him again. And now she's all confused, and she goes and talks to Patrice. What happens there?
On her way to talk to Patrice, she runs into the city love interest,
Matthew Perry. Mhm.
Matthew Perry.
Dylan.
Dylan Perry.
And they say some flirtatious things, whatever. No one knows what's going on. And she's like, hey, I still like this dude. So now she's even more confused.
Perfect. Yes. She runs into Dylan at the other guy's brand new pop-up coffee stand, coffee and hot dog stand. Oh.
Oh, you know what it's called? Beanie Weenies. Uh,
Outstanding
what?
work.
I'd eat that.
So I think he, after a night of, they get their hot dog and coffee and walk the park, all the Christmas lights up and flickering, very romantic. And he's close to talking her into coming back to the city.
Okay. Do they have to like run into?
Oh, crazy hijinks has to ensue to end that conversation before anything's settled. So
The duck shows up. It's got a knife.
Oh, the duck jumps out and scares him, and he jumps back, and turns out the ice wasn't strong enough to hold him on the edge of the lake.
They go, oh no, splash.
And
Yeah,
he's
so they-
never been that cold.
Yeah, so they all fall in, and then they have to go to the parents' house and to get dry clothes, and that's when the parents invite them to like a family dinner the next night, and Joey's invited too. Everybody's invited. They're all going to be there. Green bean casserole.
Perfect. Yes. Paris has to make the green bean casserole. She invites Patrice and Shelley to cook it with her. And then, okay, so they're all cooking. Let's do the pre-dinner scene. How are those three interacting together?
Oh, everyone's there early. So
Oh.
it's those three in the kitchen, and then you get Dylan and Joey and the dad in the other room. Those three in there, and the mom just frantically, taking care of the house or whatever.
Okay.
Taking care of the dad who's still suffering heart attack, trying to keep him down.
But he's drinking eggnog like crazy.
I think as the dad loosens up because the eggnog is fancy, he starts talking about mortality, and you have to take life by the bull horns, and he doesn't make a lot of sense with his metaphors. I think we mix them up a little bit. You can't stop at the green light when the wheelbarrow says orange or something like that. he's gone. But he's talking about how he met his wife, and at this point we need Joey to look into the kitchen and watch Paris cooking and entertaining and laughing, and having a good time. And then he remembers that yes, he loved her too. So he's all confused now.
And now flash to the three in the kitchen.
Mhm.
What's their heartfelt discussion?
I don't think Shelley's going to drop the come back to New York topic. But now
Not in front of
Patrice,
Patrice.
yeah. Now Patrice is there to counter the arguments that Shelley makes. And it's not making life easy for Paris.
But they're still laughing and still throwing out their reminiscing in there. In
Oh.
between. So.
Absolutely. Every time Shelley says something about New York, Patrice counters with something about Connecticut Farmtown. And says, y'all, but in a Connecticut accent.
And then they all laugh.
At some point, go for it, Zach.
So I think Paris is going to start complaining about how antiquated the hardware store is, and how she has some ideas from her business background. And then Joey's going to come in and overhear, and they're going to go back and forth and start spitting out ideas, and they're going to love all their ideas, and they're going to get an idea of how they can save the hardware store and start making millions by charging a delivery fee.
$9.95.
But there are lots of synergy there, and that's heating up, and they get close and they start touching, and they grab each other's hands and they hold each other's hands and they start looking into each other's eyes, and then they're finishing each other's sentences. There's the smell of green bean casserole in the background.
The most romantic of all scents.
A very unique green bean casserole.
It's
Yes.
true. She put some eggnog on top.
Everybody knows you put gravy in your green bean casserole,
Yes, good gravy.
and then you bake it in a shallow dish. So you can have more crispy onions. That's the thing. You run out of crispy onions if you use a deep one.
You know what happens when you run out of crispy onions? You run out of cheer. That's what happens. All right, so the flirting is getting pretty obvious, and I think Patrice says something about it, and that calms everything down for a minute. And then they all go to the table to eat. Again, 2019, they're allowed to. What happens? What happens at the table? You've got your New York friends on one side, your mom and dad at one end, the hometown heroes on the other side, and then Paris is at the far head of the table. What's happening there?
This is where Dylan starts out. If we need drama, then Dylan starts flirting or something.
Ooh, in front of the mom and dad?
Just at the table, something to make Joey. I'm terrible with names.
There are a lot of characters in this one. What if Dylan breaks the faux pas? Like he's many glasses of eggnog into it now. He's really having the holiday cheer. He looks to Joey and Paris. I'm doing it too, Rich. Don't worry. And he says, "So when did you guys break up?" And that we need the one final conflict for Paris and Joey to overcome, and get back together. And we've got 6 minutes to do it. We're going to skip the surprise element.
What? We don't get a surprise element?
Oh, should we get a surprise element?
Why not? What do we have to lose? We're ripe for a surprise element right now.
The surprise element. A magical holiday artifact changes hearts and minds.
Is it the duck? It's the duck.
It's the duck.
Yes!
The duck flies in. It's Dylan in the face.
A knife! No.
Nice. And they bond over burying his dead body.
The duck messes up the table, and everyone, there's random bruises and black eyes.
And stuff gets spilled on the nice clothes of the New York City folks.
Oh, wine
And they're
everywhere.
mad.
Lots of really over the top. Yes! So everybody else is freaking out, but Dylan and Paris, not Dylan, Joey and Paris work together to capture the duck.
I think the duck comes to them and they pet it in their arms.
Oh.
Oh, they find out it has an injured wing. That's why it's been here. Hasn't flown off.
It recognizes. Yes, because they were the ones that rescued it.
So they reconnect over that, recreating that memory of taking care of a duck, saving a duck.
I saved a duck. Perfect. So, Shelley and Dylan leave. They have to run back to their hotel to change their clothes.
I think we skip to the morning after.
Ooh.
Just end that scene of them taking care of the duck and whatever. And the morning after, the Shelley and Dylan are like, we can't stay here anymore, something lame of we have to get back to work or whatever.
Yeah.
In the city where you should be.
Come
Phrase,
home.
are you coming or not, has to be said.
Oh, absolutely. The Uber will be here in 3 hours. It's a long drive.
It's gonna be really expensive.
Peak holiday hours? Jeez, this is not good. Um, yes, they
And
they
then
give the ultimatum, um, and where's the duck? Are they still holding and nurturing the duck?
I think Joey took the duck. He had a warmer garage for an animal to stay in or something. So he's keeping it there.
Stayed up all night with it.
He made a duck hut out of the former hood of the truck. He never forgot. He wanted to remember it forever. So he made
And
a duck hut.
Patrice, who stayed the night because she had too much eggnog, overhears
Yep.
Paris on the phone, and all she hears is a I would need to pack. She doesn't hear her say, I'm coming with you or I'm not coming. She just hears what she would have to do if she were leaving right now. Misses the part where Paris explains it would take me 4 hours just to pack everything to move back. Or a day. I can't. So Paris freaks out and calls Joey. Like, she's gonna leave. Now's your only chance.
Perfect. Perfect. So he grabs the duck, throws it in the passenger seat, buckles it in. The duck goes quack. But it sounds like no mercy. And they drive together as fast as they can. Tell me what happens. I'm
They're
yelling.
he gets there as the whoever's driving, let's say the city friend.
I've got an idea.
Yeah.
Go. All right. So they're driving past the lake where they hit the duck the first time. And there's more ducks flying by. And the duck quacks, no mercy. And the driver swerves and steps on the brakes. And a bunch of ducks pass by and they save all those ducks.
Hey. Adorable. But they're delaying the arrival time. Are they going to make it to Paris in time?
As he pulls up, truck covered in feathers because all the ducks freaked out.
Whack, boom, whoosh.
And all he sees is he hears three car doors close and Shelly getting in, and she hits the gas. And he's looking depressed from across the street. Like, oh, she decided to go. And as the car takes off, Paris, she was just helping with the luggage.
She turns and says, I decided to stay. They run to each other. They share their first kiss in years.
The duck says, no mercy.
Does the movie end with the duck giving a wink and the
Absolutely.
thumbs up?
No
As
mercy.
it's pulling out a knife.
Can't wait for the sequel.
Hi, everybody. Sean here. Thank you very much for listening to this winter festival holiday Hallmark style episode. We have a situation here. I had a really darn good time putting this one together. I hope you had a good time listening to it. We are going to be doing this all month long in true Hallmark movie fashion. We'll just flood the market and hope something sticks. No, we're having a good time. Let's see some end of episode stuff. If you want to, you can always reach out to us. We're online at whashpod.wordpress.com. That's whashpod.wordpress.com. There we'll have some additional content, quick links to where all else you can listen to. the podcast. We'll be posting clips and funny images on Instagram. We have a situation here podcast there. And if you want to send us suggestions to add to potential to add to our situation generator, that's the wording I'm looking for. You can always send names, character things, situations, surprise scenarios, words, all the fun stuff. You can email us to us at whashpod@gmail.com. That is all for this week. We'll be back next week with another Hallmark style rom-com jaunt through whatever we come up with. Thanks for listening. Continue to wear that mask. Thank you for doing that. Keep everybody safe. We will see you next week. Thanks for listening.